Hello and welcome to the deep dive.
Hello. Great to be diving in today.
So today we're looking at a really fascinating narrative. It's called Moonlit Currents of the Silent Dunes.
Right.
And it starts with this incredibly vivid scene. A woman, Mara, she's stranded, Las Vegas desert, night's falling, car's dead, no phone signal, just that raw panic setting in.
Yeah, that immediate visceral fear, being totally alone out there. And the story, it's almost like a fable, really. It's about this unexpected encounter she has, and it sparks this whole quest for inner illumination, as the source puts it.
Inner illumination, I like that. So our goal here for you listening is to kind of unpack Mara's journey. We want to see how these external challenges, like being stranded, can actually trigger some pretty profound internal changes.
Exactly. It's about finding those core insights, how rediscovering old memories, facing fears, receiving these symbolic gifts of light from, well, a mysterious wise figure, how all that leads to transformation.
And how can you apply that? Maybe your desert is just the stress of daily life, the feeling of being lost. What can Mara's story teach us about finding that grounding strength? Or maybe the art of letting go when things feel, totally out of control.
It really digs into how silence and maybe that forced isolation can be the very places where we hear our own truth. It's quite a powerful idea.
It is, and the story sets it up so well, that contrast between the absolute silence and emptiness, and then something appears.
Right. It doesn't just leave her in despair. The source describes her situation first, 7:18 p.m. The heat's fading, replaced by this chilling breeze. She's fiddling with wires under the hood, just dreading the night.
Utterly stuck. And then she sees it, a single light, flickering.
Yeah, and it's described so intriguingly, too gently for a campfire, too warm for a flashlight beam. It draws her in.
Curiosity overcoming fear, maybe?
Perhaps. Or just desperation for any kind of help. She follows it and finds this man, just sitting calmly by a boulder next to a lantern, silver hair, linen robes, completely serene in the middle of nowhere.
And he just nods, like he was expecting her.
Pretty much. A silent, knowing nod, invites her to sit. No panic, no alarm, just this immediate sense of peace offered. It's her first little pocket of sanctuary.
Okay, so she sits. Must be feeling a mix of things. Relief, confusion, suspicion.
Absolutely. And then he offers her tea. Just a small metal cup, steaming, smells like chamomile and desert sage.
Ah, the classic calming herbs.
Exactly. And the source says as she sips it, the warmth spreads, her breathing slows. He just listens to her story, doesn't interrupt. His presence is just steady.
So what's the key thing there? The listening, the tea.
It's about creating space, I think. Minimizing the external noise, the panic, the braking car, and offering a moment of grounded calm. The tea helps physically, but his presence, his listening creates this mental space. And that's when insights can start to bubble up.
Makes sense.
And then he speaks about the desert's hidden wisdom, how silence can awaken forgotten memories, how the night sky mirrors the soul's infinite possibilities. Her skepticism starts to soften a bit.
So just creating that calm space allows for different perspectives to emerge.
Precisely. And then there's this moment. He asks her to place her hand over his.
Okay.
And she feels what the source calls a subtle pulse, like a gentle wave of energy. And he promises her, tomorrow you will understand why you were brought here.
Whoa, that pulse thing, that adds another layer, doesn't it? Beyond just words.
It's a nonverbal connection, an energetic thing maybe. It bypasses her logical mind, her fear, and just invites trust in whatever this process is, anchors her in that moment.
Right. Okay, so she sleeps there, wakes at dawn, the mystic is gone.
But his presence lingers, the feeling of him. And she finds something near where the lantern was, a little pouch.
What's inside?
A simple black stone pendant. She puts it on, feels a gentle warmth. It's like her first tangible link to this whole strange, unfolding experience.
Physical reminder.
Yeah. And then he reappears, just walks up calmly. And his question is simple but direct. Are you ready to continue?
Putting the agency back on her?
Exactly. It's an invitation to actively participate. And he makes this powerful statement. The desert's alive. Every grain of sand holds a memory. Every echo carries a truth.
That's a big concept. Not just poetic, but...
It reframes everything around her. The environment isn't just inert rock and sand. It's a living teacher. If you're open, it's constantly communicating.
So he leads her somewhere.
Yeah, to a narrow alcove. There's a wooden post there, carved with these ancient-looking symbols. He says they were left by others seeking awakening. And he introduces this idea of seeing with the heart's eye.
Okay, what does that mean practically? Seeing with the heart's eye.
It's about perception beyond just the physical senses or logic.
Yeah.
It's intuition, empathy, that deeper knowing, recognizing the essence of things, not just their form.
So less thinking, more feeling or intuiting.
Kind of. And Mara tries it, closes her eyes, and the source says she feels this incredible lightness, weightless almost. Here's an ancient whisper in the valley. Her perception is literally shifting.
And then music comes in.
Yes. He takes out a bamboo flute, plays this slow, hypnotic melody.
Ah.
And the description is beautiful. The notes like ripples on a still lake.
Mm-hmm.
Mara just surrenders to it.
Let's go.
Yeah. And all these emotions, sadness, hope, gratitude, fear, they don't fight each other inside her anymore. They just kind of merge into this feeling of clarity, harmony.
How does music do that? Bypass the mental chatter?
It often does, doesn't it? Especially simple hypnotic melodies. It speaks directly to the emotional centers, the subconscious. It creates this resonance that can align feelings that seem contradictory. It's a pathway to clarity without needing words.
And the mystic explains this.
He says, this place is your soul's landscape. Here you can see clearly what life's distractions often conceal, which is a direct challenge, really, to us too. What's concealing our soul's landscape?
That's a good question. What noise in our lives is hiding that inner view? Okay, so the journey goes deeper into stillness.
Right. Mid-morning now, they're in cool shadows in the valley. He guides her in a breathing exercise.
And meditation.
Essentially, inhale from the center of the earth and exhale toward the sky. Let each breath become a bridge.
Connecting inside and outside.
Exactly. Grounding. The source says she feels tension melt away, thoughts drift off like clouds. She feels rooted, yet lighter with each breath. It's a classic technique for finding stability.
And then he uses an analogy, the oak tree.
Yeah, the mighty oak in the desert.
Yeah.
He asks her to imagine being it. Roots deep and anchored, trunks strong against storms, but branches flexible, dancing in the wind.
Stability and freedom, that's a powerful combo.
It really is. It's about resilience and adaptability. Being grounded in who you are, your core strength, so you can handle life's storms, but also staying flexible, open to change, like the branches.
That's a great image for navigating challenges.
Then he gives her something else. A pebble. Smooth, wind-worn.
Another tangible object.
Yes. She traces its shape, feels its silent story of resilience, and when she holds it to her heart, she feels this subtle vibration syncing with her heartbeat.
Wow. Connection again.
Deep connection. And the mystic reinforces it. Every breath is a dialogue between inner and outer worlds. If you truly listen, you will learn the language of all things. It's about mindful awareness, really listening to the subtle cues.
So stillness leads to deeper connection, and then memory.
Yes. He brings out a small round mirror, framed in copper, says it reflects the landscape of your soul.
Okay, what did she see?
First, just her tired adult face. But then it shifts. She sees herself as a child by a riverbank, gathering stones.
A specific memory.
A very specific one. And the mystic asks her to recall the wisdom from that moment. She remembers the wonder and patience of learning to skip pebbles. And the realization hits her. The magic was in trusting the process, not forcing the outcome.
A lesson she'd forgotten.
Exactly. A tear rolls down her cheek. She realizes how long she'd ignored that simple truth. And the mystic says our deepest wisdom hides in the innocence of our earliest years.
That feels true. We forget those basic things.
We do. And remembering lifts this invisible burden from her. She feels lighter, like a veil is gone.
But it's not all peaceful reflection, right? There's a confrontation.
No, it gets heavier. They go to a different spot, a clearing with dark boulders, a twisted old tree. He hands her a linen handkerchief. Her hands start trembling.
Uh-oh. Setting the stage for something difficult.
Definitely. The premise is clear. True healing begins when we dare to confront our shadows. He guides her into a painful memory she's kept hidden.
Which is?
Her mother. In a hospital bed. The sounds, the smells, labored breathing, antiseptic, flowers. The memory makes her chest constrict. Tears fall. It's raw grief and maybe guilt.
That's tough. How does she handle it?
The mystic guides her differently this time. Visualize stepping into that room again, but with an open heart, placing a hand on her mother's arm with deep love.
Changing the energy of the memory.
Exactly. And then this inner whisper comes, forgive me. And the realization that follows is crucial. Forgiveness does not diminish pain, but liberates the heart from guilt's prison.
So forgiveness is for her liberation.
Yes. It's releasing herself from that prison of guilt. Not necessarily changing the past or saying it was okay. It's a profound internal shift.
And after that heavy work, something magical happens, the stream.
Yes. It's amazing. The mystic makes a subtle gesture, and suddenly this crystalline stream appears among the rocks, flows silently, reflecting the sky.
Like actually appears.
That's how the source describes it. Symbolic, maybe, but powerful. It represents the water of your transformation. It appears and disappears, yet its flow forever reshapes the path it travels.
So healing isn't static, it flows and changes things.
Precisely. It's ongoing. Right. And after the stream vanishes, Mara feels this faint shiver of release. Lightness again. The pain isn't gone, but it's transformed.
Okay, so she's faced stillness, memory, shadows. What's next? Purpose.
Exactly. Receiving inner wisdom, finding purpose. He leads her to a circle of smooth stones, starts a rhythmic chant, guides her into feeling an ancient heartbeat.
What's that ancient heartbeat, like the Earth's rhythm?
Could be. Or the universe's pulse, her own deep core rhythm. It's about syncing with something fundamental, larger than the self. Grounding.
And in that state,
she has a vision. A door opens in her chest, revealing a glowing garden. Golden light, unseen beings. And in the center, a luminous figure, her own essence.
Her true self.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
And she asks it. What is my purpose here and now?
And she gets an answer.
A clear one. Her purpose is to share the wisdom she had reclaimed, to guide others with her voice, comfort with words, illuminate paths using symbols, meditations, messages, maybe even tarot designs.
Wow. Specific.
Very. And she makes a vow. I will bring light where there is uncertainty. Listen. Offer peace. It's not just knowing her purpose, but committing to act on it.
And she gets another gift.
Yes. A small, blank, leather-bound journal. To record visions, hold the seeds of her journey. A practical tool for integration.
From purpose to the stars.
The gift of the stars, yeah. Night again. They're on a hill under this incredible starry sky. The mystic calls the stars ancient guides, telling stories of connection.
Beautiful imagery.
He shows her 3 crystals in a clay bowl. Sky blue for clarity and communication.
Yeah.
Spring green for healing. Golden for spirit illumination.
Themed crystals. Okay.
And then they transform. They start humming, glowing, become 3 luminous pillars reaching for the sky, forming arches of light, then dissolving into glowing ducts.
Seriously, that sounds intense.
It's described as quite magical. The message behind it is, you have received the greatest gift, the knowledge that you are never alone. The stars watch over you. It's about feeling that universal connection.
That feeling of being part of something vast.
Exactly. And that leads to the final major piece, the promise of return.
Under a rock arch.
Under a natural rock arch, yes, in the moonlight. He asks her to make a promise, not to him, but to herself.
Which is?
That when doubt or fear arises, you will return here, meaning return within herself, to seek guidance. The source of wisdom is now internal.
That's key. The guidance isn't external anymore.
Right. He points out the lights of Vegas in the distance, the world she has to go back to, and he gives her one last token, a small cloth turban.
A turban? Why?
As a reminder of her vow, a sacred bond, tying her present self to her future commitment to tap into that inner wisdom, another physical anchor.
Got it. So she has the pendant, the journal, the turban, tangible reminders.
And the inner experience, of course. So dawn breaks again. She's back in her car, turban tied to her bag. She takes out the journal.
And writes.
Writes. Today the road feels less lonely. I carry the desert in my heart, the wisdom of stones, and the song of stars. Every dawn is an invitation to be born anew. And as she finishes writing...
Let me guess. The car starts.
The car starts. Sprang to life as if recognizing her new purpose.
Ah, okay. That's a nice touch.
Isn't it? And her first act... She doesn't just drive off. She stops at an overlook, sees another lone traveler looking a bit lost, and offers them the reflection she just wrote.
Sharing the light immediately.
Yeah, just a simple gesture. But she realizes that's how it starts, sharing light. Then she drives back into the city, into the chaos.
But she meets it differently now.
Totally. With the rooted stability of her oak and the flexibility of the magical stream's flow, she's grounded, but adaptable.
And she starts planning.
Sits in a cafe, pulls out the journal, starts outlining projects, online meditations, articles, maybe self-hypnosis videos. She even tells the barista, yes, but the real work begins when I share everything I've discovered.
She knows the integration is key.
And she realizes the desert isn't a place she left. It's a living source within her, a spiritual home she can always return to, internally.
Which brings us to the epilogue. She becomes a keeper of light.
Yeah, the desert stays alive in her heart. Those seeds of rebirth grow through simple daily acts, her morning tea ritual, writing on a blank page, a kind glance. She shares her experiences through meditations, letters, stories, building a bridge for others.
And the story doesn't really end.
No, the source says the epilogue does not close a chapter, but opens countless others, those of ongoing transformation and the constant remembrance of the promise made beneath the arch of rocks and stars. It's continuous.
Wow. What a journey. From stranded and terrified to clear, purposeful, connected.
It's a remarkable arc, and it really does highlight the power of stillness, forgiveness, finding that inner purpose, all catalyzed by that unexpected desert encounter.
So for everyone listening,
Well,
what's the takeaway? What's your inner desert that might hold hidden wisdom?
yeah, and what flickering light, maybe an unexpected event, a person, an idea, might be inviting you on your own journey.
How can you bring that oak strength and stream flexibility into your everyday life? How do you meet your own chaos with a bit more calm and purpose?
And maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. Mara learned the desert wasn't just somewhere to escape from, but an inner spiritual home to return to.
So what can be your turban or journal? What simple act, what inner practice can be your tangible reminder to reconnect with that place of inner peace wherever you are?
It's something to think about. How your own story might just be beginning its next chapter.
Definitely food for thought. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Goodbye for now, and thanks for joining us.
Goodbye, everyone.